Every single day we're living in this digital world, but we're probably not thinking too much about the walls, the doors, and the alarm systems that are actually protecting us. So today we're going to skip all the complicated jargon and just build a really simple blueprint for your digital security. And it all starts with one basic question. Really, have you ever just stopped and thought about it? You're clicking, you're browsing, you're shopping, but what's the invisible fortress that's actually standing between your personal info and, the total chaos of the internet? Let's just paint a picture of a totally normal evening, right? You're on the couch, streaming a movie, your phone's on the Wi-Fi, maybe you're hopping on your laptop to check your bank balance. It's a scene that's playing out in millions of homes, probably right this second. So all that stuff you're doing, it's all happening inside what we're going to call your digital house. And just like your real house, it's full of valuable things. So what's the lock on the front door? Where are the security cameras? What's actually stopping someone from just waltzing right in and having a look around? Well, that's where network security comes in. It's the blueprint, the master plan for building a safe and secure digital house. And every good blueprint, every solid foundation, starts with three fundamental goals. First up is confidentiality. And honestly, this is the big one. It's all about privacy, plain and simple. Using our house analogy, confidentiality is the solid walls, the locked doors, the drawn curtains. It's the promise that your private stuff, your DMs, your bank details, whatever, are not being read by anyone who shouldn't be reading them. Okay, next we've got integrity. This is all about making sure your data is trustworthy, that it hasn't been secretly messed with. Imagine if someone snuck into your house and swapped the sugar with salt. Everything would look the same, but it's completely corrupted. Integrity makes sure that the email you send is the exact same email that gets received, with nothing changed along the way. And the final piece of this foundation is availability. Now, this sounds simple, but it is absolutely crucial. It just means you can actually get into your own house and use your own stuff whenever you need to. What good is a security system if it locks you out, right? So together you've got these three core ideas: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. They are the walls, the contents, and the key to the front door of our digital house. So we've got the blueprint for the house itself. That's solid. Now, how do we actually manage the front door? Who gets a key? And once they're inside, what are they even allowed to do? This whole process is about controlling access. Before anyone or anything can even get a foot in the door, the system has to ask a really fundamental question. It is the first and most important challenge of them all. Who are you? And the answer to that question is a process called authentication. This is how you prove you are who you say you are. Think of it like a bouncer at a club checking your ID. In the digital world, this is usually something you know, like a password, or something you have, like a code from an authenticator app, or even something you are, like your fingerprint. Okay, so you've proven who you are. You're past the bouncer, you're inside. But that doesn't mean you have the keys to the entire building, right? So there's a second question that gets asked immediately. And that question is, what are you allowed to do? This is authorization. Just because you're in the house doesn't mean you can start rummaging through the bedroom drawers. Authorization is like the guest list. It defines your permissions. Can you read this file but not delete it? Can you go in the living room but not the home office? It's a really critical second layer of control. All right, so you're in and you're moving around only in the areas you're supposed to be. But for real, top-notch security, there is one last question that always needs to be answered. And that question is, what did you do? This is accounting, or as a lot of people call it, auditing. Think of it as the security logbook right by the front door. It keeps a detailed record of everything: who logged in, what time they logged in, what files they looked at, and when they left. This paper trail is absolutely essential for spotting weird behavior, and if something does go wrong, figuring out exactly what happened. Okay, so we've built the house's structure, and we're controlling who comes in and out of the doors. But what happens if someone tries to be sneaky? Pick a lock or climb through an open window? Well, for that, we need an alarm system. We need active defenses that are always watching for trouble. So let's break down three of these key tools. First, you've got the firewall. Think of this as the main gate to your property. It's got a basic address list, and it blocks or allows traffic based on some pretty simple rules. It's super important, but not all that sophisticated. Next, there's the IDS, which stands for Intrusion Detection System. The perfect analogy for this is a motion detector. It just sits there, passively watching. And if it sees something suspicious, like a broken window, it doesn't stop it, it just sends an alert. It screams, "Hey, intruder!" And finally, we have the IPS, or Intrusion Prevention System. And this is where the difference is key. An IPS isn't a passive alarm. It's the actual security guard standing right in the doorway. It actively inspects everything trying to get in, and if it sees an attack, it blocks it right there on the spot. So, our house is built, the rules are set, the alarm is on, we're done, right? We can just relax? No way. Absolutely not. Security isn't a project you finish. It's a process that never, ever ends. I mean, think about it. A physical house always needs maintenance. You gotta fix leaky pipes, maybe patch a hole in the roof, maybe upgrade the locks every few years. Your digital house is exactly the same. The bad guys are always finding new ways to break in, which means you have to be constantly patching those little software holes and updating your security tools just to keep up. And that brings us to this really sobering quote from a former director of the FBI, Robert Mueller. There are only two types of companies, those that have been hacked and those that will be. And wow, that really drives the point home, doesn't it? The goal isn't to be this magical, impenetrable fortress, because that's pretty much impossible. The real goal is to be resilient, to be prepared, and to always, always be vigilant. So as we wrap up this explainer, I just want to leave you with a question. We've walked through the whole blueprint, right? We've talked about confidentiality, integrity, and availability. We've looked at the gatekeepers, authentication, authorization, and accounting. And we've even checked out the alarm systems. So take a second and really think about it. How secure is your digital house?